such a calming intro for a nice Monday evening. What's up, everybody? We
It's the
talking about
weather in this
sports.
Monday Night Football game, right?
Yeah, I know. It's a gloomy day outside. We're finally getting that winter weather here in Texas. But guys, it's we talking about sports. It's Monday night. We're doing something a little different today. Don't have any slides or any material prepared for you guys. We're just here to kick it tonight, watch some Monday night football, maybe go through the first or second quarter with you guys. If you guys know, you've heard of the Manning cast. This is our take on this. This is the We Talking About Sports cast. Ben, Justin, how are you guys doing tonight?
I wish I could say I'm doing better, but I'm not because of my fantasy rolling. I was playing a guy who had Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews. They
Oh,
both go
so you're
off
sitting
Thursday
good. You're
night.
sitting pretty.
You would think, right? He has Calvin Ridley. He has Saquon Barkley. He goes off on me. I do my projected points. Should have won, but he had, all the help from every other guy last night and yesterday. I'm going to lose this match, and I had two guys to play that were out in the first quarter mostly. I mean, it's a bad situation for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting in a similar boat as you, maybe not as dire. I have a chance coming into Monday Night Football, but my situation is I was, here yesterday talking with talking with Ron and Ben about Devon A-Chain. I was ready to put him back in my
Ooh.
lineup. I swapped, Pacheco out for A-Chain in one league. I swapped Cook out for A-Chain in another league. So I was starting him in two leagues. He went out on the first play. I think he only registered like 1 point or something like that. Thankfully, in one of my matchups, the guy that I'm playing had Aaron Jones. So it kind of washed out because Aaron Jones left the game early. For those of you guys that were watching football yesterday, Aaron Jones exited the game on a stretcher, or not on a stretcher, but on a cart. Looked like it was a pretty gruesome injury. So prayers up to Aaron Jones. But anyways, that's my situation. But to top all that off, I thought I was sitting pretty. Ron just joined the podcast. Him and I are going to talk about what happened with the Washington Commanders because our demise
No,
happened yesterday.
no, we're
Survivor,
not.
but the guy that I played, he had the Giants defense. So he walked away with 20 points on me because Howell decided to play one of the, the worst games of his season. So now I'm in a tough matchup watching this Monday night. So, yeah, sorry.
Well, the
Ron, how
good
are you?
news for you, Roland, is that A-Chain is probably not ruled out for the season. The coach did come out today and say he's optimistic about him even starting the next game. So you might be in an
Yeah.
okay spot with him if you're still holding him.
Yeah, and it's funny. I hate how coaches, and Mike McDaniel's like, I wouldn't rule him out for next week, but I necessarily wouldn't rule him in either. Just playing those games with people. Don't want to get your hopes up too much.
Yeah.
But we see Ben's back on again. Ron, how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Pacheco's eating early, baby. Pacheco's
I'd
eating
rather
early.
do this. I'd rather do this, dude.
I know
I'd
where he's
rather
going.
do this. I'd
Finish the
rather do
sentence,
this,
Ron.
dude. I'd just rather do this, dude.
Yeah. Something about the boys, huh?
Yeah. So the first quarter is underway here for the Chiefs and the Eagles. A little Super Bowl matchup, a little Kelsey matchup. Also got Jason on the Eagles, Travis here on the Chiefs. Chiefs driving here in the first quarter. Still 0-0. Guys, we have our bets going off on the bottom, but do you want to walk everybody through here what you're watching?
I'm not watching the
We've
game
seen a
live,
drive
so
of
y'all need
peace
to
so
update
far.
me.
Yeah, so we've seen a drive of peace so far. And, Eagles defense that first drive, they sacked Mahomes. Well, Chiefs returned the favor, ended up sacking Hurts on the other side. And now we're seeing a final, push from the Chiefs. I think they're into plus territory over here now, so we'll see what happens.
And as we see them getting into plus territory, Justin, I see on the ticker you're looking at some touchdown props. You think Kelsey's going to get in here?
Well, you got to favor Kelsey. I think he was like minus 115 to get a touchdown tonight. And the other one I had was Jalen Hurts because he's going to get a tush push at some point, and you're hoping it's at the goal line for the touchdown. So those are my two bets. I think both could probably even hit tonight. I really do.
Yeah, good chance both those cash. Ben, I think you have another Chiefs related prop. What are you looking at tonight?
Yeah, the backup tight end, Noah Gray.
Yeah.
So his number was at 14.5, and we've seen a little bit less of Travis Kelce. I know I believe Ron likes Kelce a lot tonight, but at 14 and a half yards. I mean, that's what he could do in one reception. So I like that number. I looked at the previous games, and he's hit it the last 3 games comfortably.
He averages 12 yards a season, so he could get there for you.
A game, not a season.
12 yards a game a season.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like those short yardage props, those props that you can cash in one catch, like you just said, Ben.
Or 2, like you don't need much.
Yeah, they're a little tricky. You know, I was looking at Kenny Gainwell over 6.5 receiving yards. I ended up not pulling the trigger, but that's kind of along the same thing. Just looking for it to cash on, you know, a halfback screen or something quick there. I'm on the Chiefs money line, so if they can get this score here and get off to a quick 6-7-0 lead, I'll be sitting pretty, especially them playing here in Arrowhead. Ron, you got any bets for the night?
That parlay with Chelsea with Kelsey and the Chiefs. Kelsey 7 catches, at least 7 catches, and Chiefs to win. So
and it looks like you might be sitting in good hands. Ryan here watching. Shout out Ryan. Saying the Swifts are in attendance. Probably not Taylor.
Shit.
They
she's
are.
on tour in South America, but
well, she was supposed to be. She was supposed to be at the game tonight, but did you hear like people were dying at her concert and shit? Like, because it was
I heard
so
there's
hot.
there's a heat advisory there in Brazil.
Yeah. So there was so it was so hot that at least one person, I believe, passed away. Because, you know, like when you go to concerts and stuff, they're like, no, you can't bring shit in. Like, you can't bring no water. You got to bring like a little bag, see through all that stuff. And so they were letting them drink water. You had to buy it there. And I don't know if like the lines were long or people weren't getting water or what. But a person died and they had to like postpone the concert. And so she was supposed to be at the game tonight. And like her rants were supposed to be his rant. We're supposed to meet his rants. And it was like Kelsey's game of the century career game. So I was all over the football.
Hey, sounds like a sacrifice, man.
Super Bowl rematch, Pfizer commercials everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But
it's a script made in heaven.
Sounds like a script, bro.
Yeah. It's a sacrifice, bro. Sacrificing your fans.
Going back to the comments, shout out Edgar. We're gonna digress a little bit from the game. How about them Texans come through with a W yesterday against the Cardinals. Keep it rolling. CJ Stroud had a little bit of a bumpy game. Had a few picks last night or yesterday. But you know, if you guys watched, we were on Tank Dell as a flex of the week. Tank Dell ended up going off. Ben as a
wide receiver 2 or 1.
He had a 1 touchdown, but he had like 28 points or something.
154 yards.
Yeah, so he's eating. He's obviously a target monster right now. Ben, as a Texans guy, what's your biggest takeaway from
as a longtime Texans fan, loyal fan.
Bro.
I think
who does that, Ben?
Can I hear?
Oh, we're here to have fun, man.
Yeah, we are.
We talked about the connection though pregame. Remember, somebody was talking about Nico Collins or Tank Dell, and we kind of said, I'd pump the brakes on Nico. And I'd go Tank Dell because the connection is there. And the connection's clearly there, bro. Like, it's so crazy that guy wasn't picked, earlier in the draft because he's just a dog. And you saw that if you watched any college football. But, yeah, man, I mean, even with 3 interceptions to still win, Kyler Murray had a really good game for the Cardinals.
Looking good.
We also had a conversation about Kyler Murray before he got reactivated. It seems like he might be a fantasy-worthy quarterback. I'm already trying to use him as trade bait. He looks decent. The guy's using it like a tryout. But for the Texans, the defense stood tall. And like Edgar said, 3-game winning streak. They have a wild card spot. The Bills are out right now.
Huge game this week against Jacksonville coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game, and they're going to be underdogs. But the Texans do seem to give Jacksonville some struggles. It's just the way it's been, in the history.
First place on the line, right?
Yeah, first place in this
line. There's too many Diaz. There's too many Diaz brothers up in this chat right now, bro. Look at these comments here. Like, it's safe to say that the Texans are the best team in Texas. I mean, that's ridiculous, bro.
We got our first touchdown of the night. The Chiefs took the lead 6-0. Watson touchdown. from Mahomes. So
Justin
I'm
Watson, a guy nobody knows.
I'm playing against Kelsey tonight, so I'm glad to see that go elsewhere. That's a good start fantasy-wise and for our bets.
Guys, 10 plays, 80 yards, 6-minute drive.
Yeah, and
Perfect.
and just talking about both of the teams on the screen here, you got the Chiefs and the Eagles both. If you look at their records, you would think it's smooth sailing, but I'm gonna throw it to you guys. Out of the Eagles and the Chiefs, which team do you think has looked like better at this point in the year, or do you see a struggle in either one, or do you think it's just both these teams are on the road back to the Super Bowl for another rematch?
They got a similar record. You take the Chiefs loss, it's the Broncos, a divisional opponent, and then you also have the opening season loss against the Lions, who look like they're a pretty good team now. It seems like they're the best for their respective conferences. That's what I think. I think we're seeing 1A and 1B playing here tonight. Now, I don't know if I'm ready to say who's 1A and who's 1B at this point, but they're the top two teams, I think.
What about you, Ben? Do you think the Eagles have a good path to the?
I think the Eagles are guaranteed the NFC Championship game against the Niners. Is how I think that it's going to play out. For the Chiefs, I think shit just got a whole lot easier with Joe Burrow being rolled out for the season. I mean, you see where the Bills are right now. That was their other big competition aside from the Bengals. Are we expecting, the Texans, the Jaguars? Are we expecting the Ravens to beat them?
I was going to ask you about Ravens.
Maybe this is the year for the Ravens, right? Their defense is pretty tough, but we know what happens in the playoffs. Teams kind of seem to bottle up Lamar and make him throw the ball, and he just hasn't been able to do that. So you got to like the Chiefs getting back to the Super Bowl, even with the lack of firepower. Like last year they had the weapons, the offense. It was just more explosive. They don't have any more, 2-3 play touchdown drives. Now it's long drives. It's a lot of moving the chains down the field. So I do think that the Chiefs are just built to get back to the Super Bowl based off where the competition is in the AFC.
They did get Mecole Hardman back, right? For the Jets. So he's explosive too. I mean, I don't know he hasn't really done much since he's been back. But, in the playoffs, Mecole steps it up. So I do expect him to be that kind of X factor in the playoffs at least.
Yeah, and the thing above all that I like for the Chiefs this year, because Ben said they don't necessarily have that firepower. They're not necessarily taking the top off the defense with 1 or 2 plays. But that defense, it's stout this year. Statistically, it's a top 5 defense. I don't know if it's going to remain that way the rest of the year, but if that can be part of the Chiefs' calling card this year, I can't disagree with their path back to the Super Bowl, or I can't deny them a path back, because with Joe Burrow going down, that's really been their biggest competition the past 2 years, because he seemed to have their number. But without him, are the Bills gonna wake up and challenge the Chiefs
and make the playoffs?
They got to make the playoffs. They're struggling.
They're third place in the AFC.
Don't sleep on the Dolphins.
Well, I was about to ask, are the Dolphins going to threaten the Chiefs for real?
You finally see the Dolphins beat somebody over 500 yesterday. It's the first team they beat over 500.
That's a good point, Justin. We've been talking about that. They hadn't beaten anybody tough, and I think more than anything, the Dolphins, they need home field. Like, they would need the number 1 seed. I can't see Tua going into, even though he played in Alabama, and I guess they played in semi-cold weather over there, not really in the Southeastern Conference, but I can't see Miami, a warm weather team, going in and to Kansas City or going up to Buffalo and beating them in a playoff game. So, I'm not too worried about Miami. I think on the other side, though, for the Eagles, I think it may be a little tougher. The reason why I asked the question is because I think the Eagles have shown a little bit of a chink in their armor. Like, I think their offense at times has been a little clunky. Jalen Hurts has turned the ball over a little bit more, especially in the air versus last year. And that defense isn't as strong as it was last year either.
It's an interception machine this year. You're right.
The pass defense isn't as good.
Yeah, so the Eagles, I'm not going to go out here and say they should be worried about the Cowboys, because you know what happens whenever they line up in a game.
They kind of bully them. Yeah, they just debo them, bro.
Well, I was going to say, you know what happens when they line up and when a game matters. I'm not even gonna go there. But I think their biggest threat is still the 49ers. I was big on the 49ers last year. I was on the 49ers to beat the Eagles last year, more out of because I was holding their ticket to make the Super Bowl. But if it weren't for them going down to their fourth or third string quarterback, almost having to put CMC to throw the ball against the Eagles in the playoff game, who knows what would have happened. So I'm waiting for that rematch because
now they have Ron's boy Purdy. You know what I mean?
And they lost
it.
They lost linebacker yesterday.
I mean, we're just gonna forget about the Cowboys. I mean, forget it, right? I mean, they're trash apparently.
Because the way Edgar says, no way, Dolphins are for real. Eddie. I'm sorry, Eddie. I think Eddie would say the same thing about the Cowboys.
The Dolphins.
What's your argument for the Cowboys, Ron? Let's hear it.
Boss, I mean, finally we're getting a little consistency, you know? I mean, albeit against the damn Panthers, right? But
and the Giants, Panthers, teams that are not great.
But no, I mean, the Eagles game wasn't bad. I mean, they played like trash, you know, going in the fourth quarter at the end of the game. But as a Cowboys fan, when you see a minus 14 line or a 10-12 line against the Panthers, you always think like San Antonio, like la van a cagar. You know, they're gonna screw it up. And Thanksgiving comes around, and you know you're there with your fam and everything, watching the Cowboys game. You end up wanting just your pot numbers to hit because you know the Cowboys are screwing it up for you on Thanksgiving, bro. Like I remember they got blown out, bro. They got blown out by the Bills one year. It was like just a
Thanksgiving was awesome. You have such hate for the Bills, cuz
nah, man.
You'll never forget that Thanksgiving.
I think that the consistency is a little bit there. Pollard finally got going, which worried me. But I think CD Lamb is the biggest thing this year. We didn't really have that big play weapon who was consistent enough last year, the year before. Yeah. And I think he's proven that, you know, through at least 11 weeks, you know, that he's a star. He's going from star to superstar, like we always like to say in the NBA. And Dak isn't throwing the ball to the other team, surprisingly. And the defense is staying healthy. So I think we're about to reach our peak. It's going to be tough, week 12 through 17. If we can stay consistent, you know, we saw the 49ers lose 3 games in a row. You know, the Eagles aren't what they were last year. So I don't see why the Cowboys I don't see why the Cowboys can't finally get taken a little bit seriously, at least is all I'm saying. Like, you know, put them in the conversation now. They're not the 8-8 Cowboys.
Well, we haven't been 8-8 Cowboys since Dak's been there, so I don't think, you know, they need much more respect until they do it at this point.
Alan's got a little story time here. Who wants to read Alan's story? Thanks for being on, Alan, and Eddie, and Edgar.
All right, he says, one year I went to the Cowboys-Panthers game with Cam Newton, and we got blown out. All I could do is enjoy my nachos and beer. All those sad in the stands.
Yeah, at least you got to see Cam, baby.
Yeah.
Cam.
You know, I want to talk about the team. Ben, you mentioned the AFC North. You talked about the Ravens. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. They got a hell of a defense over there. If they can get a quarterback who can just manage the game, not mess it up, not make turnovers.
Joe
with
Flacco.
That defense, Joe Flacco. They're contending somehow, right? Like they can make a run in the playoffs.
You know, Matt Ryan wanted to get released. Maybe they go and get Matt Ryan and he can play behind that defense. But Matt Ryan was saying he wanted to be released. Maybe that's, you know, a viable option for them. Mm-hmm. But yes, they are in the playoff picture right now as it is. They went out and beat the Steelers with Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
That's not saying much because
the Steelers have a winning record. That was a tough division game. Yeah, so they're in the playoffs. That division has 3 teams in the playoffs right now, if I'm not mistaken.
They'll probably eliminate the Bengals. I don't think Browning's going to do it for them.
No, so Baltimore's 8-3, Cleveland 7-3, Pittsburgh is 6-4, and the Bengals are 5-5.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are going to fade.
They're done.
To answer your question, I don't think the Browns will necessarily make like a lot of noise in the playoffs, but I think that defense is good enough to get them there. You know, they have a solid offensive line. That's the other thing that we haven't mentioned. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. That's why they're able to move the ball the way they are. And they just have trouble punching it in because
they replace offensive linemen. That's not the starting O-line from the season. The start of the season. That O-line is nice.
They're on a 3-game win streak. They're 5-2 in the AFC, and they're 3-2 in the division, tied for first place with Baltimore.
And they're
5-1 at home, bro.
They have the best defense in football, and that's really what it comes down to. So.
But in the playoffs, that's all cold weather. I mean, you want to play off of your defense, and this slow grind it out. I think that if they get in the playoffs, they're live just based off their defense. I think they're a team that they can go play the Dolphins in the first round or whatever and just go and bully the Dolphins.
Just like grind them out.
Yeah, so I think that they're dangerous. I would like to see them do something about their quarterback position. I'd like to see them try and at least bring in a guy maybe just for the playoff push, some veteran that's not going to turn the ball over.
Well, they signed Joe Flacco to the practice squad. I don't know if he's necessarily the answer you're looking for, but I think they do realize, though, to your point, Ben, that they have a chance. Like, this is a championship defense.
It is.
They can just get a signal caller there to, move the ball, move the chains. They're going to have a chance, to your point.
This defense has the ability to score themselves.
Speaking of Cam Newton, when he played the Broncos in the Super Bowl, 9-3 game, defensive game. I mean, Peyton Manning wasn't pushing the ball down the field. I mean, that's Cleveland Brown football right there.
Exactly. He's a game manager in that situation. All Peyton Manning needed to do was not turn the ball over.
RG3 did say he was available. He plugged himself. That is true.
Oh, wow. RG3.
He was running on Saturday.
RG3 is cloud chasing, bro. He's very cloud chasing. He's good at social media.
Hey, somebody give me an update on the game. I'm not watching it live. Give me an update on the game.
He commentates on college football, and he was running on Saturday before his game that he commentates on to show he still has wheels.
Yeah, I don't know about RG3. He was a flash in a pan.
The game is 2 minutes in the first quarter, Ron. 2nd and 8 for the Eagles. They got a first down, so they're at the 20. They're getting into the red zone. They're down 7-0.
Okay.
They're at the 30 zone.
Devonta Smith that is having the catches right now.
Bro,
yeah, it is.
That's what I like to see.
Hell yeah.
I need him. Bro, how am I losing
in fantasy, bro? I have who's the big pendejos? That's Wally, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he has 88.
Ron, your mic's kind of breaking up there.
You're losing to someone with 88 points, bro.
Bro, yes, I am. What about now, Justin? Is it better?
Do y'all need any fantasy miracles today?
I'm at 49 points, bro. 49.
I'm in a close game in my big money league tonight. I was up 5 going into tonight. I was talking about it with Justin at the beginning of the show. I had A-Chain go down. He had Aaron Jones go down. I had a couple of big players go off for me, and he had the Giants defense put up a lot of points for him. So I'm in a tough matchup right now. But anyways, my matchup tonight is I'm up 5 with Hurts, Devonta Smith, and Jake Elliott as my kicker. And he has Kelsey and AJ Brown.
Yeah, so no Kelsey, huh?
No Kelsey.
I have dude, for real, Allen, 49 points. Bro, I had one player score double digits this week, and it was Stroud at 15. Walker got hurt, 2 points. Kirk, 7. Hollywood Brown, 3. Garrett Wilson, 0.9. Denver defense, 7. And Aubrey, the kicker for Dallas, 9, bro. Pacheco's at 3. Kelsey's at 0.
That's legit. Oh, Swift.
Swift with a big run. He couldn't get in. I think that they should push here from the 3-yard line.
Here it comes.
Eagles down to the 3, and coming to the end of the first quarter here, 1st and goal, down 7-0. Ben, you're calling for that. You're calling for the 3-yard tush push, but in general, I just want to ask you guys. I don't know if we've all openly talked about it. Not about that. Anyways, what I'm going to ask. What do you guys think about the tush push in general?
It is what it is. I mean, I don't hate it. It's just you got to learn to defend it, and it was cool how they did like an option off it. They faked the tush push and went to the side.
Bro, in my other league, this dude forgot to do his lineup, and he had Watson in there from the Browns.
That's how you just gave up.
Yeah.
No, bro, and I'm only up 9 because St. Brown put up 21 and really put up 30 for him, and Pollard put up 17.
So, other fantasy-related news, I don't know if you guys saw the update today, and if you guys are Justin Jefferson owners, but, it's looking like he's going to come back after their bye, meaning he won't be back till week 14. So if you're a Justin Jefferson owner, depending on your standing, are you looking to trade him? Or if you're on the bubble, are you looking to trade him and see what you can get? Like, it all depends on where you're at, right?
You have to. If you're needing to win now, I mean, we have like 4 weeks left before playoffs. So I think if you're somebody who's on top, you're probably looking to buy on Justin Jefferson.
How much are you willing to spend on JJ?
Yeah, that's another. And with news now that he's coming back after the bye, I mean, what is there bye next week or in week 13 the following week?
I think it's week 13.
Yeah, so
Hoopa.
I mean, no, yeah, the Vikings. So we're talking about what we'd be willing to give up for Justin Jefferson.
I mean, with Dobbs throwing him the ball, he's coming off injury. Not bad.
You trade for him right now, and the owner knows that he's out, at least 2 more weeks, right? So he's selling him probably at a lower value. If you try in 2 weeks, the price, yesterday's price is not today's price. That's where that saying comes in. And then Justin, that's where you hit the bomb, the horns.
Hey, where the sounds, Justin?
Let me pull it up.
Where the sounds?
You see that right after yesterday's price is not today's price.
What else you got? What else you got in the bag, Justin?
Yeah, I think if you have like an 8-1 team or a super team or whatever, and you have enough assets, like, I mean, obviously, if you're 8-1 right now, you've either had like a lot of good luck or you have a really, really good team, right? Or a little bit of both. Yeah, I would try and look to go and get Justin Jefferson for that playoff run, but it's tricky. You can't really give up too much because I think Edgar put in the chat, might as well shut him down for the season if you're the Vikings. These next few weeks could determine whether or not they do that. What if he comes into the bye week and they're in playoff contention, right? What's your record right now? 6-5. They get into that bye week situation at 8-5. I mean, they're going to bring back Justin Jefferson after the bye and try and make the playoffs, right? So if you trade for him, you're looking good there. But if not, it could be the other situation that Edgar just laid out, and them sitting him down for the season, and you could be out of luck. So, yeah, it's tough either way you look at it. I just wanted to bring it up to see what y'all's thoughts were on trading for him or keeping him if you're an owner.
I mean, maybe like if I don't have this guy, but if I had Derrick Henry on my team, I would maybe throw out like a Derrick Henry for Justin Jefferson offer. If I had Derrick Henry and my team was doing all right, I had guys filling the gaps because Henry hasn't been the best. He's still that big name. And like we said, if Jefferson's out for 2 more weeks, that's somebody who you could pivot off of. Because to be honest, I mean, you just want to play DeAndre Hopkins for that team. It's not looking very good for the Titans. So
the Vikings
Henry would be somebody I'd be wanting to offload. Maybe try and pick up another piece just based off name value and running backs.
I like that. That's probably the best chance that you're going to have is throwing another name out there, because whoever's holding on to Justin Jefferson is going to try and hold out for as much value as they can, right? I mean, he was a number 1 pick, and he really didn't do anything other than get hurt to like have his value deteriorated. So it's hard to take a discount, but I understand why you would have to. I'm
really down on this guy, but would you all offer like a Josh Jacobs for Justin Jefferson if you were in a decent position?
No, I would want to keep Josh Jacobs.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan either, but the way that they use him, and I think the team has had a little bit of a boost with the new coach. I think he's a good asset to have the rest of the year.
Okay.
Hey, Justin, are you glad to be back?
I'm getting a little personal here. Okay.
Alan did say it's nice to see the whole crew back together for the holidays. Everybody was.
Let's get around the campfire, the smokeless campfire.
And then I talked to him, and he's just throwing me shade, bro.
What did you guys think of that when you saw Snoop Dogg saying that he was quitting smoke? Did you really think?
My mind started going places, thinking, okay, so he's going to edibles only. Like, what's happening with Snoop Dogg? And then he just fooled us all with his release today.
That guy's the ultimate
never again
promoter, bro. Like
that's a hell of a promotion for 2 days. He had everybody wondering, what does Snoop mean what's going on with Snoop. And there's like other rappers going along with it, like, oh, I gotta quit for my health too. Conor McGregor put out a tweet like, it's bad to take anything into the lungs. I'm with Snoop. He had everybody talking.
Why? What was the?
Of course,
Why? What's
Connor's
the
gonna just
punchline?
ride on the
So he said
bandwagon, bro.
product that's like a campfire, a smokeless campfire. You can sit around it and you won't get no smoke on you or anything like that from the wood you burn. So he's no longer smoking.
But yeah, but he had come out and said that he was
Yeah.
no longer no smoke, and people took it as that. But he was promoting. That's actually pretty funny because, I mean, I know it's open mic night, so Gabby and I have been talking about getting, since it's winter season, something to like burn wood and sit around some sort of fire. But then they have those little metal ones, and when you burn so much on them, they end up breaking through, you know, and they tear apart. So we're looking for something that isn't gonna like deteriorate like that, but is gonna like be cool to sit around. You know what I mean? And then Snoop comes out with this. I'm sure it's like a G or some shit just because there's
And then
no
like
smoke.
right in time for the holidays. No, but you know, actually, Roofy, shout out Roofy. It's not
smokeless stove. It's a stove.
I don't think it's a trick, but like he had one of those things, right? One of those little fire pits, and he went and put his barbecue pit like outside, and then he waited till all the mesquite, like you could break up the mesquite, and then you go scoop it up with a shovel, and then you just put like the embers, or I don't know what the correct word is. You just throw those in there so it doesn't smoke as much and it stays warm.
Nice.
It's pretty smart.
Well, sorry to digress, but back to the original question. Justin, are you glad to have you back?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Don't you dare put him on the spot like that.
Damn.
why is he like
Hey,
that?
Alan, that's a troll, Alan. That's expensive, but I think that's a troll right there. Hey, I also wanted to get to another question.
What's the other question?
Let's hope Justin.
I'm gonna text him on the side. Like,
technical difficulties.
All right, so we're back here in the second quarter. Chiefs just taking their first snap, handoff to Pacheco for about a 2-yard gain.
Damn it, boy. We need more. Edgar had one over here. Favorite sides. It is Thanksgiving week. Favorite sides for Thanksgiving and what's in your cup Thanksgiving Day?
Favorite side for sure is gonna have to be stuffing. I'm a stuffing person. I can go back for multiple servings of stuffing. I like the little potato scallops too. Those are super good. I'm a sides guy. I like the little broccoli casserole too. That's really good. I like candied yams. That's a very underrated side.
What kind of Thanksgiving do you go to?
Crackle Barrel?
Crackle Barrel Thanksgiving.
Nah, that's really good. I'll show you.
Hey, don't say Crackle Barrel around me, bro.
Yeah, there's no Cracker Barrel over here. But
I got beef with them.
Yeah, I would say stuffing's number one. And in my cup, on Thanksgiving, probably a glass of wine or something.
Wine for sure.
Dude, that's bougie, dog.
Yeah, that's
Roland's
doing like a family Thanksgiving movie, bro. That's Roland on Thanksgiving.
Roland's like for sure like Cantera area of San Antonio.
I also like tamales with
shit, there you go.
Right.
No, for Thanksgiving, I agree with Roland the sides, but mashed potatoes, bro. The mashed potatoes. I'm not a stuffing person myself. Mashed potatoes and the rolls. The rolls are clutch. I love the rolls.
What side of the turkey do you like?
The white side.
White side. Yep. What about you, Ron?
I am a. It's.
We got Alan over here judging me. We're talking about food.
Bro, Alan really thinks it's open mic night, bro.
It's tough.
He's trying to be a comedian up here.
It's a tie with mashed potatoes and macaroni. We like my wife makes some badass macaroni.
Not everybody has macaroni on Thanksgiving. That's like my favorite. That's my number one side of all time is macaroni.
I love macaroni too, but yeah,
mashed potatoes like just can't like. I like to get like whenever you're done eating your main plate and you want to go get like go back into the kitchen to get a little snack. Like get a piece of bread and throw mashed potatoes in there, or like whatever roll that you have. Throw some mashed potatoes in there, bro. Eesh. Like, that's all you need. That's all you need right there.
Yeah, my mom also makes like a macaroni salad. And it's like a mayo-based macaroni salad, like with ham in it, and that actually goes pretty hard at Thanksgiving.
My tia does like a green bean casserole, which isn't bad.
See, that's very good too. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
the green bean casserole goes. What about your cup, Ben? You sipping wine like?
Nah, I'm doing whiskey and Sprite for sure. Probably like Gentleman's Jack and some Sprite. Always dark with Sprite though.
I mean, like before, I don't think I'm gonna drink this year. Because Wednesday comes around and you're off Thursday, right? So it's like, oh, I'm gonna get all crazy, I'm gonna get all stupid. But I don't think I'm gonna do that this year. So I'll probably be sipping maybe like some juice or maybe some kind of like jungle juice kind of mix. Like Audrey, Rufy's wife Audrey, bro, we had Thanksgiving. She made this awesome drink, bro. It was like jungle juice style. So maybe something like that, not too heavy. If not, my tios always have the Miller Lite going in the ice chest.
What's the name of that bartender that always comes out on? I'm sure he's on TikTok clips. I don't have TikTok, but I see him on Facebook, like Tipsy Bartender or some shit. And he just makes these huge like concoctions of drinks, like where he drops a pineapple in there and then all these different juices. That's what Ron wants.
Yes, I want something like that.
Jungle juice, Gacho high school vibes.
There's another important question here. The pie. You guys big pie people? Desserts? You got to have dessert. On
big pie, for sure. Whipped cream's got to be on the pumpkin
pecan pie or pumpkin pie is the question here.
Pumpkin. Between the two, pumpkin. Between the two, pumpkin.
Yeah, same here. Between the two, pumpkin. What other choices do you guys have?
Pecan pie is good, bro. You just gotta take some of the pecans out.
Pecan pie is good. I didn't used to like it when I was younger, but it is pretty good. What's another pie not listed here that you guys like?
I don't like that little that creamy jelly stuff in the pecan
pie.
The best.
I like that.
Nah,
chocolate pecan pie is pretty good too.
That's the
cheesecake, bro. Cheesecake was hard.
I love cheesecake. Do you guys like apple pie?
Nah.
No apple pie. I love apple pie. Cherry
I don't really fuck with fruits. Like, I don't eat fruits.
I just had a
vegetables
pie the other day. That was really good.
Rod. You're on a carnivore diet or only or what?
No,
you're a dog, bro. You're a dog.
Key
what's up with the game? Oh, key lime pie, but cold, Roland.
Yes, cold, of course. I'm not gonna eat it warm, of course. Key lime pie.
Hey, what's up with the game? What's the update?
Eddie with homemade ice cream.
Nah, with Blue Bunny ice cream, Eddie. Blue Bunny
ice cream. Leave that out. What's up with the game here? Okay, so the Eagles got the ball back after forcing a 3-and-out from.
Wait, what is it? 7-7?
Yeah, 7-7 in the second quarter. The Chiefs punted the ball to the Eagles. The Eagles just took their first snap, 8-yard pass to AJ Brown.
AJ Brown finally.
AJ Brown has been eating this whole year. They just have a stat line up here for those of you guys watching. 68 catches for 1,013 yards. 10 games into the season.
Him and Tyreek over 1,000 yards this season so far.
Yeah, we're having some pretty good wide receiver years this year. Tyreek Hill leading the pack. You guys were already talking about CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown.
CeeDee Lamb took the leap. Let's have a conversation just about next year. Like, let's just put our listeners on game, all right? Because Joby was at my house on Sunday and we were watching the Dolphins and we saw Tyreek Hill catch that pass and then just like hit the boost.
Oh yeah,
game the end zone, right? Like it was
all right,
different.
So what's your topic? I want to put
next
it right
year
on the bottom third.
Tyreek Hill needs to be the first wide receiver drafted in fantasy football, and I still think Justin Jefferson's going to get drafted before him. But guys, like he's the best wide receiver in football. Yeah, I think we need to have that conversation because
I will have. I'm not going to like go out and like toot my own horn, but I'm just gonna say I agree with you. I think he is there. I drafted him number 4 in the league. Tyreek Hill was my guy.
But Chase and Jefferson were going before him.
For sure, and I agree with you. Right now, I would take Tyreek Hill over Jamar Chase in a heartbeat. But when it comes against Justin Jefferson, I still think it's a little close. But I'm not going to argue off that hill. I think Tyreek Hill, no pun intended, is the best wide receiver in football right now. I don't think.
Bro, hold up. They just picked him, and then AJ Brown stripped the guy for the ball and got it back.
Yep. But
that's good for Chiefs defense.
We're gonna have a conversation here about forward progress.
Chiefs ball.
Forward progress.
Oh.
Forward progress.
Get it.
Heightism. I do think that's true.
Yes. Well, he fell on the ground. Does AJ Brown touch him?
I do think some of that's true. People are less willing to put shorter receivers, at the top of their list, and they'll naturally favor, other receivers. It was like the time when Antonio Brown was the best receiver in football. People were still, if you asked them, would take like Julio Jones over Antonio Brown.
Justin, JJ or Cheetah next year? Who are you drafting first? He doesn't like me, bro. He hates me right now.
You're not very likable, Ron.
Wow. Well,
Really
I
upset.
honestly think that was a strip. I don't know if a forward progress is stopped. I've seen forward progress.
They're
go
going to
on
review
longer.
it. Roland, I think it's going to be Eagles football because he waits for him to get up. He doesn't touch him when he's down.
Yo, what's up,
Look, can you hear
Justin?
me? All right,
Yeah.
so I was having mic problems. I think I'm good now.
Clearly.
So your question was Cheetah or Jefferson, Ron, right?
Yes, next year.
I think it's gonna be Cheetah. I would have said Jefferson this year because of Kirk Cousins throwing Jefferson the ball, and let's say that Jefferson doesn't get hurt.
What's up,
But
Mark?
next year, Kirk might not also be there, and I don't know if this is a contract year for Justin, so I don't know where he's going to be at and who's throwing to him for next year. That's a lot of variables, a lot of factors to take into effect. Where Cheetah's got that longer term contract, and he's got a really good head coach that can dial up some plays to get him super wide open, and then he has physical abilities that no one can match with his speed.
He's CMC at wide receiver, bro. Like, he's that automatic. Like, as automatic as it is having CMC, I think you feel the same way as a Tyreek Hill owner.
You're very much right. He is CMC.
What's up, Gabe? I think that it's more of the core that's in that squad. Like, you always say, like, great receiver, great quarterback, right? Like, you have Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. And then you have
Tua's not great. Tua's not
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, as a tandem, more of like a tandem. There's always those two guys that work really well together. They know where they're going to be at.
Chemistry,
there you go. Yeah, like that. So those guys practice every day off, off-season drills and all that. So I could see that offense especially with McDaniels as a coach being like, you know what? If y'all want to go play street ball, go play street ball. Whatever works. They don't have a coach that's going to limit them either. So I think that you got to go Cheetah, bro. You have to.
Yeah, and even the way, like, you all are mentioning with the coach, I mean, they use him in the run game. They get creative with the way that they use him. So next year, we'll see. We'll see. I know everybody's going to bite into, the hype of, obviously everybody listens to their own fantasy football shows, but I still think it's going to be Justin Jefferson as the top receiver. And realistically, I think that it should be like CMC and then Tyreek 1 and 2 next year. What do we see changing?
Are you going JJ?
What was that? You were breaking up.
It depends who the quarterback is.
Yeah, I think with the wide receiver like that, you're not going to have a big problem finding a quarterback to throw him the ball either, though. So I think that there'll be somebody. I mean, a lot of people really believe in Dobbs. Is he that type of guy? I don't know, but I think that Dobbs is good enough to keep Justin Jefferson as good as he is, fantasy relevant. But he's not going to be better than Tyreek Hill if it's, Josh Dobbs throwing him the ball. If they go out there and get a quarterback, yeah, maybe he could be better. But with the offense and just everything in play, I think that next year Tyreek Hill should be the second pick behind CMC.
Let's say Dobbs is throwing him the ball. Are you going JJ or CD next year?
I'm going CD.
Ben?
I'll go Justin Jefferson. And I was big on CD taking the lead.
Yeah, I'll probably still stick with Justin Jefferson.
CD's good, bro. CD definitely took that leap this year. I think that it's safe to say he's in the class with those guys, Jamar Chase and them now.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, like, your preference too. I mean, between the four at that point, I think it's like almost splitting hairs, and you got to start looking at other things like
quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. That's what I was gonna say. Is like I would just be with CeeDee Lamb, a little bit worried because with Dak, you're gonna have a couple of games where that happens. Or I mean, this year, look what happened to Joe Burrow. But on a even playing field, everybody healthy, I'd probably still go Burrow over Dak.
Mark says Hill, JJ, Chase, and then Lamb. We have Edgar with the obvious Tank Dell. Like, relax, bro. Like, put a pause on your brother real quick, Ben, please.
Hey, he has a point, bro. Tank Dell's probably top five.
Alan says Hill, JJ, Chase, and then Lamb. Oh, I'm sorry. Mark said Hill, then Lamb. Yeah, I mean,
Pacheco, another
next
strong
year will be
run.
interesting.
Pacheco, every time he touches the ball, he runs 100 miles an hour. Like
It looks
there's
like
no,
it.
he's
It
the
looks like
exact
he's like
opposite- he's the exact opposite. He's the exact opposite of Le'Veon Bell. You know how Le'Veon Bell, whenever he would get the ball, he would wait around in the backfield for like
Kinda
3
hesitate.
seconds and then go. He just boom. He sees the first hole or the first glimpse of a hole, and he takes off.
Facts.
Pacheco looks like he's like killing ants as he's running. Like he's like stomping roll like hard on the ground, right? Like boom, boom, boom.
Hey, they say
Like-
never stop pumping your legs as a running back, and this fool took it to
like,
heart, bro.
This is crazy, bro. Hey, but he's on my squad, so I need him to go.
Honestly, though, that's how he got the job, because this was a guy that was
He's a hard
coming.
runner.
Yeah, I think he played for a MAC team, if I'm not
No, he played
mistaken.
for Rutgers.
Oh, for Rutgers, okay.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a very high draft pick. I know that he was,
No, it's like 6th or 7th round.
7th round draft pick. But I mean, he plays hard as hell. Every time they give him the ball, he's one of those guys that doesn't take plays off.
Yeah, Alan said he doesn't wait for blocks. Hey, Roland, side note here. Avs Preds first period over 1.5 cashes with 14 seconds left in the period.
Nice. Nice. I'd completely forgotten about that. Those are the best.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. A little
Time
hockey
goes by
tap.
fast when you're
Justin,
having fun,
right
Roland.
there. Justin, that was a setup for you, cuz, to hit the cash button.
I'm having my troubles. I was telling you earlier, so no cash button for now.
We'll get the soundboard going. We'll get the soundboard going here. Maybe tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be back for a Tuesday pod. Do another waiver wire show.
Are the college shows back?
Let's talk a little bit about the waiver wire. Let's talk
Are the
a little
college
bit about
shows
the waiver
back?
wire. The college season's coming down to an end, but Ty Chandler did end up having double digits.
I was gonna, and Madison had a costly fumble for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a chance that Chandler could maybe take some of that job, because Madison? I mean, he's cost the Vikings already twice this year with costly
games.
fumbles.
He's cost them wins.
We need to get Louis on the show, the Baltimore expert here.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way, right? I mean, we've seen running backs fumble the ball, maybe for more strict coaches, but we've seen running backs fumble the ball and just go straight into the doghouse for a good month or 2 months. So, I mean, we'll see if it happens for him, but it showed that there's a guy back there that's pretty able, with Chandler. I believe he ended up outscoring Madison. We had talked about that as well. I said I thought Madison was playing just more off like he didn't want to lose his job just because he was out. And, man, I mean, I know we're not going to chalk up the fumble to a concussion, but he's had that problem, like you said, costed them 2 Ws. And Chandler might have a spot, here coming down the stretch.
Yeah, and speaking of the waiver wire, Ben,
Chiefs in the red zone.
Good call out. Edwards-Helaire with a nice little carry. There were some big injuries, that happened, so it's going to open up some potential spots in terms of picking up players. Like,
have we heard anything on Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker, that's where I was going to go. They said he's not going to go on the injured reserve, but they're still learning more about the injury. So you for sure can count him out for this upcoming week. It's a short week.
Geno Smith, Mark.
It was like a oblique injury because he pulled up before anyone even touched him.
Mm-hmm. They're calling it potentially serious but not injured reserve. So that's going to be an opportunity. Maybe a little DJ Dallas action. No. I think he's the second running back, or Charbonnet is already the second guy, but Dallas is a backup to Charbonnet.
I think Charbonnet is Aaron Jones as well. Yeah,
Aaron Jones is out, so AJ Dillon gonna get a big boost.
Jaden Reed
probably rostered in most leagues, so maybe the backup to AJ Dillon, whoever that is, may step up.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes INT in the end zone.
Oh, fucking trash.
Wow.
Chiefs fall to their knee. I mean, Eagles fall to their knee for a touchback.
Nice. As long as
that's good for Dak.
Looking like a first half unders, boys.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any other injuries. Deonta Foreman, he went out with an injury, so that Bears backfield might open up a little bit. Yep. Cooper Kupp also got hurt, so who knows what that means for the Rams wide receivers. The Tutu Atwell becomes a player again.
What do you think comes back?
Who?
Puka. I mean, he's
he's gonna be a monster again for sure.
What do you think about Edgar's question there with Henderson? Do you think that your guy is going to come back, Roland, the other running back that was on the IR?
All signs are pointing towards he is going to come back. And
Johnson, Johnson, right?
Kyren Williams.
Yeah,
and once Kyren comes back, he should be it. I mean, they signed Henderson off the street, but that's no slight to Henderson. He's done pretty good with the work that they've given him. So that's still an answer or a question to be answered, Edgar. But I would lean towards Kyren once he comes back. That's just my initial lean, because he was a monster when he was healthy. I mean, fantasy monster for sure. Yeah.
What do you think about T-Law and that performance that he put up? You think he wasn't a player that's on a lot of people's rosters?
Trevor Lawrence, I think, some people had him as backups. That's who you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the guy that he got drafted as. He was going right after Herbert. We thought that there was a drop-off after him, in the draft with the quarterbacks. So finally, I think that he's playing up to where he was actually drafted. I think a lot of people may have given up on him, and picked up players like Kirk Cousins instead of him, throughout the season and whatnot. But hopefully, I mean, as a Texans fan, a very loyal Texans fan, it sucks to see him catching his stride, in the week that we're going to be playing him this Sunday.
Yeah, because he's rostered in almost 90%, right? But he's only getting started in about 20%. So it's like he's the guy who's rostered, but he's just not your starting QB. So is he getting into that starting quarterback conversation?
They have all the weapons. Yeah. They have all the weapons.
And speaking of keeping it there with the Jags and talking about one of those weapons in particular, Calvin Ridley. He finally had a huge game. I think he had 31 fantasy points. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that you guys are talking about. Pretty much people were giving up on and benching.
Big time. Yeah.
There's no way he was in your starting lineup unless you were starting him out of like pure desperation.
Bye weeks.
I know we talked about the AFC and the Dolphins. Any weight to the team we're discussing right now, the Jags coming out of the AFC? They're 7-3. They're 5-2 in the AFC, 3-1 in their division.
It comes down to Trevor Lawrence. If he turns the ball over and turns it over like 2 or 3 times a game, like he's known to do, then they have no chance. But if he can actually play like a number 1 pick and like, how he played this past week, the defense, they have the turnovers working for them this year. So the defense is able to create a lot of havoc there. And then traditionally, I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars, their defense has been, at least when they've been good, been pretty good.
Who did they come back on last year? That crazy comeback.
Well, Chargers. They're down like 28-0.
I'm very surprised that coach wasn't fired today.
Oh, Brandon.
Very surprised after that loss to the Packers.
Jeez,
yeah, that was bad. And I mean, it's not all on him. He can't go out and catch the ball.
Roland.
He can't.
But
go
they
out
just
and
don't have they've never had a defense, bro. They're like the Cowboys. Their offense is great, and
I'm
they
not
just
sticking up for Brandon Staley. I think he's a trash coach for sure. I agree. But yesterday, Quentin Johnson dropped the game. That was right there in his hands.
I hate that guy. Everybody's on him, and he sucks, bro.
That's embarrassing. He was wide open.
He does.
I probably make that catch. I'm just saying.
Well, hey, Keenan Allen dropped the
but you got
touchdown
hands,
well.
cuz.
Keenan Allen dropped the touchdown as well.
Yeah, I mean, but Keenan Allen was eating the whole game. I don't know.
And the sun was in his eye. You saw that, cuz.
That was some bullshit.
Come on now. Hey,
Third
no, but I like
after third and 16 after an Eagles sack. I mean, after a Chiefs sack here, so chance to get off the field here.
The most added players this week were Josh Dobbs, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, obviously all quarterbacks. Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, DeVito, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Jake Browning, and Baker Mayfield.
Speaking DeVito already has
Fuck
more.
him.
Have you seen that I know I'm right there with you, but have you seen that meme that's going around? He or post, I guess. He already has more multiple touchdown pass games than Kenny Pickett. He has 2, and Kenny Pickett only has 1 in his career still.
I know this from Roland.
Another sack.
Put in Coy Detmer. Hell yeah. Pride of mission.
Chris
I think I got his autograph and a photo with him somewhere in the house.
Hell yeah. Hey, that's a valuable
Dude,
autograph.
Kenny Pickett, I was on him, okay, good dude. Pittsburgh, went to college there, everything. Hey, you know, the next Big Ben. All right, I'm not a Steelers fan, but, you know, you root for the guy, right? And then you have his receiver coming in with him as well, you know, Pickens. And you're like, okay, cool. It's always good to see young players, you know, how that chemistry grow up, you know, stay in the franchise forever. He sucks, dude. He's trash.
He sucks.
He was in that kid in
he's
college.
terrible.
He had that one play, and then everyone got hyped off that.
Yeah, the one play
where he faked the knee.
He faked the slide, and they
which is an
changed the
illegal
rule.
play. You can't do that anymore.
No, yeah,
But
they
it's like
changed
I
the
would
rule
rather
because-
take Sam Howell than him. It's kind of like where I'm at.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, and he was the first quarterback drafted.
And that's where I was gonna go.
The weakest QB
That's
draft
where-
in a long time.
That's where I was gonna go. It's a super weak QB draft, and like Justin said, he had that one viral play that kind of like boosted his like profile, if you will.
His stock.
And then he's a Pittsburgh guy. So my question is like, how do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers really truly evaluated Kenny Pickett and was like, that's our guy?
Not
Or
unbiasedly. Yeah, not unbiasedly.
Or do you think that there was like, shit, he's the Pittsburgh guy. People were just, you know, bitching at us because we look like shit without a quarterback. We have a good defense. And, you know, we just did this whole thing with Big Ben. We need to get our guy now. We can't pass on him. If we pass on him, we're going to look like shit. I mean, because that's my question. Do you think they really, really thought he was the guy? Or there's a little bit of bias there, like, and some pressure to get him?
It was like, who's better than him at this point, that draft? It wasn't like he's the guy, he's the future of our franchise. We're going to use him all the way through. He's Pittsburgh tough. I don't think it was any of those things. I think it's like you're holding the short end of the stick and you just have to grab it at this point.
You're picking in the high teens. You know, he's still the quarterback. He's still available. He's there. I don't think, like, you know, the Texas teams could have done it the year that Johnny was there. You know, if that was the case, and they were going to play into it. Like, oh, he's a hometown guy.
Jerry almost did.
Or Jerry almost
But not even Jerry did, bro.
They had to pin him up against the wall and say, we're
no, bro. Like, did you see that video where he calls his grandson or something and asks him how what's that dude
in college?
That running back is like, how is he in college? Like, is that serious, bro? Like, is that like as a Cowboys fan,
serious, bro.
Like that's what our organization does. Is you call your grandson? Like, what do you think your grandson's gonna say? It's his freaking roommate. It's his teammate. What's he gonna say? Nah, grandpa, he sucks. Don't put him on the squad. Like,
hey, well, the Cowboys seem to draft well.
What is Ryan complaining about? They draft really well.
And honestly,
they probably did it for the soundbite, not so much because they needed intelligence from his nephew or grandson.
Like, Ron, aren't we always sitting around talking about, like, man, what are these guys thinking? Or like, you know, maybe he did have some faith in his grandson, bro. Like, hey, what do you see here? What do you see here?
Nah, bro, that's
he was
Jerry
asking the right
Jerry,
questions.
bro.
What kind of player is he in practice? You know,
yeah, but you're asking an 18, 19-year-old kid, and you have paid professional scouts on a payroll. But let me just call my grandson.
Got to use all your resources, cuz.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground.
Bro, you guys are wild. Hey, what are y'all eating for dinner? This is cooking and it smells great.
I already ate dinner before the game started.
What'd you eat, Justin?
I had 2 enchiladas.
Oh, what? Damn it. From where? Taco Le?
Taco Le.
Roland's been having dinner.
You had 2 what?
Roland, what did you have for dinner tonight?
And there you go. Enchiladas. Eddie, get your son. Eddie saying enchiladas. That's not Eddie.
Enchiladas.
Come on, Eddie.
Hey, so me and Ron have been working out this past week.
You want to hear me say it?
We did.
You want to hear me say it?
I want to know.
No, I already know how you say it.
Bro.
You want to hear me say it?
So make it wet burger.
I got that from Terry's, bro.
Oh, for Terry's.
See, even Justin saying it like me now.
It's P. Terry's.
Look, Alan knows what's up. He said taco Le cheese enchiladas are top notch. I had 2 of those bad boys. They're excellent.
You need to go to Diaz Diner and get the King Ranch enchiladas in your life.
They made those at Taco Le before they took them to Diaz Diner.
Hey, Ron, don't put everybody on game, because then we're going to have to go and wait 30 minutes to be seated.
Oh, before I forget, are y'all coming down for Thanksgiving? Or when are y'all coming down? Or
for Christmas. I'll be down for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You gotta give Gabby what she wants. And
yeah,
then
I got my mom and sister coming up for Thanksgiving, so they're gonna spend it up here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hopefully, try and catch a high school playoff game on Friday, Black Friday. up here
That
in
would
the
be
area.
cool.
Some Texas football.
Yeah, some Texas.
You're gonna come down. You're gonna come down, Roland, or no?
Yeah, I'll be down on Wednesday night probably, or Thursday for Thanksgiving. Get my
First and 10, Kansas City, ball on the Philly 11, 2-minute warning.
Let's go. Let's get a score. We'll get out of here at halftime, boys.
Yeah, out of here at halftime. Before we leave, the rest of the game, who do you guys think who wins?
Chiefs.
I got Chiefs. Chiefs.
Bro, Watson is the leading receiver for the Chiefs with 2 catches and 16 yards.
Music to my ears. Music to my
Why
ears.
couldn't that be Noah Gray, bro? He would have cashed already.
Ron, do you want to announce the Black Friday thing that we got going?
What?
And we should probably announce the winner of that other thing as well.
Oh yeah, so we'll do that first.
Okay, we'll do those 2 things.
Unfortunately,
no, it's just something. It's real quick. But my dad does a toy drive every year, and he raises money for toys for the Edinburgh Housing Authority. And I thought it'd be cool for us to kind of pitch in, donate some toys on behalf of We Talking About Sports. I would have loved to have done it with the city of Mission, but it's kind of late because the concert's on Friday, and we'll put up the details. But you go to the concert, you bring a toy, and you can get in for free into the show. But I kind of wanted to pitch in on behalf of We Talking About Sports, and if anybody wants to help us out, we'll put our Cash App and our Venmo up there. And if you want to buy some toys for kids who are in need, or maybe might not get as much as other kids and stuff. It's just us giving back to the community. Luckily we've been pretty blessed with our podcast to where it's getting recognition, and it's we're spreading out, and we are collecting a little bit of revenue here and there, and it's not for us, it's for everybody who watches and for everybody who comments. And I think it'd be cool to give back, especially being in the holiday season. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but yeah, that was kind of one announcement, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then the second one was us getting killed on Survivor.
Yeah. So, Ron, that's awesome. Hopefully, everybody can contribute to that cause. Sounds like a really, really good and important cause. But yeah, unfortunately, into less important things to talk about, but less important matters.
No, it's pretty fucking important.
Yeah.
Actually,
as you guys know, we've had the Survivor pool going on since the beginning of the season. We went down to week 11, and it has finally concluded. So the first annual We Talking About Sports Survivor pool is over, and there's a winner. Unfortunately, it's nobody from We Talking About Sports, because if you guys did watch yesterday, Ron and I were both on the Washington Commanders. We both let our tickets ride on Sam Howell. We decided to fade the Giants and Tommy DeVito. But also, if you guys watched, and even on Tuesday when I was talking about it with Ben, I said the only way that this loses is if Sam Howell
you jinxed it.
Has a crazy, has a shitty game. He throws like 7 picks or 7 turnovers, and there's a pick 6 in there and stuff, and that's how they lose. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened on Sunday. So
hey, Roland, but like 5 minutes ago, Ron said, "Still give me Sam Howell." Like, fam just lost his Survivor with him, and he says, "Hey, bring Sam Howell over here, baby."
Hey, over Kenny Pickett,
I'm with you. Over Kenny Pickett, yes.
But
hey, Roland, but don't you go back and say okay, I've picked 10 winners, all year to week 11, and then you're like, I went with fucking Sam Howell and the Commanders.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, especially because there were some other decent options on the board for me, but
you had some better options than I did.
I was really trying to play it, for the long game. Although I really shouldn't have, seeing as there's only 3 people left. But I was so in my head about our other competitor having, picked a lot of max value plays early on that I felt like I had to make up for it with this pick. So I was like, I'm going Washington. They're a huge favorite. I'm never going to take them again. That way it can save me
against the Giants,
like Miami. I can still have a team like Philadelphia, even though they're playing Kansas City this week.
You did what Ben did.
I could still have a team like what was my other one? The Texans were still there for me.
Kelsey touchdown.
Really?
I hit my bet.
That's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, let's go over bets before we leave.
They've been running at the bottom of the ticker.
Yeah, we've had the bets going on, although we did all introduce them at the beginning of the pod. Justin just cashed with the Kelsey touchdown. To my
Look
demise
at Ben
in
trying to
fantasy,
read the
unfortunately, Ben's got the Watson over 14.5 receiving yards.
Why do your eyes look like that?
Justin
man?
has one
You
more
glasses?
anytime touchdown
Yes, you should.
with
Hurts.
Hurts
You
left to
could
go,
push in the second half.
and I have the Chiefs money
Kelsey
line.
touchdown for the Swift.
I think I got the Chiefs money line at minus 145, so not too much there. Didn't want to lay the 2.5. I never like to lay anything less than 3 personally. And then Ron has I put on the ticker here, although I know you have more going on. Kelsey over 7.5 catches, right?
Yeah, no, I had Kelsey at least 7 catches
There we go.
and parlayed with Chiefs money line. But I think he only has that was only his second catch of the game. I
He needs to
think
get busy, cuz.
he needs 5 in the second half. And
Well,
the way the game script is going, I don't know if they'll get there.
The way that this game is going, I'm gonna have a very, 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 very long night. It's currently 102.6 to 102.3. I have the 0.3, and I have Jalen Hurts, Smith, and Elliott going up against Kelsey and AJ Brown. So if you guys know me, I'll probably be on tilt in like about 15 minutes. So probably good that I'm getting off the pod right now. So
Hey,
guys, go ahead, Ben.
I also have a matchup where I'm up right now 86.6 to 84.4. I have Pacheco, AJ Brown, and Butker, and he has Devontae Smith and DeAndre Swift.
That's a badass matchup.
So yeah, Swift getting that touchdown really hurt, and right now Devontae Smith is outscoring AJ Brown as well. So
Hey, Mark, what do you mean? Can
This
we
is gonna
put
be
bets
tough.
through, guys?
He probably wants to use us to make bets, like in our books.
We don't have a book because
Betting is illegal. This
That
is
would
all
be-
for fun.
this is for fun. We're talking about
Mark, are you
This
the
is all
fence or what,
funsies.
Mark?
hey ops, dog. Don't be acting all oppy. But if you want, we can let you know how to get involved. So hit us up.
Actually, I can't even do that. So you'd have to hit a prawn specifically for that.
Well, my second home is in New York, so when I go to New York, we can, or Vegas, whatever you want.
Well, anyways, guys, it's been fun tonight. We're already nearing halftime. Do you guys want to watch the rest of this?
I want to eat, man. I'm starving.
All right, so then-
Yeah,
Spurs
I want
are
to
also-
because I want to
the Spurs
see
are
if it's
down
going to be
10.
Andy Reid stays undefeated after bye week. I want to see what's up.
Hey, Justin,
Well,
I like your haircut. Honestly,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, I like that too.
Hey, Spurs are going for
That's my barber George. He watches the podcast. He told me.
well, tell him to like and share. What the fuck?
Dude, he comments on all of the stuff. Have you seen it?
Spurs are going for 10 losses in a row tonight against Uno and the Clippers.
Damn, Roland, he had to hit you with the Spurs stat before he left.
Hey, it happened. I will say I was gonna put it in the group chat the other day, but I didn't. But I guess I'll say it here while we have the rest of this 2 minutes left. Look, I got excited. I'm not gonna lie. I got excited when I saw Wemby play. I was like, shit. Hey, there's only 5 players on the court at once. If this guy's that good, he can will us to, freaking a play-in spot or something, right? It's pretty clear this early on in the season that that's not going to be the case unless we turn around. As Ben said, we're going for 10 losses in a row. This team is still in the developmental stage. We're still on our way up. I would say we're a year or 2 behind where Houston is. Houston and other teams like Oklahoma
Well,
City.
Wemby was supposed to make y'all skip a couple years.
Yeah,
I gotta disagree, Roland. I think y'all don't even have the right pieces yet. You're still
Well, that's what I'm
gathering
saying.
the
We're
pieces.
still a roster in construction. We still don't know
Yeah.
who the
Edgar with the
who the-
snipe.
who the main guys are going
Not
to
a
be
boss,
around
though.
Wemby. It's pretty clear Wemby's a monster, right? When we give him the ball, he can
Monster
play.
bust.
A monster Jace, not full monster.
I think.
He's had the one Suns
he's
game.
still-
After that, he's been Chet Holmgren.
Dang it, man.
Need to send him to
Jalen
the
Hurts has
G
been
League.
playing like crap this year. Jalen Hurts just avoided a strip sack. Minute 30 left. Back to Wemby, though. I still think he is that guy. I still think he's the guy that we drafted. I haven't seen otherwise, right? I do think that the roster is not there yet. I don't think
I agree with that.
maybe like half the roster is going to be there in the next couple of years. Like, this is still a roster in motion. So it's up to the Spurs management to put the pieces together, because just because we have Wemby, doesn't mean that we're gonna magically make it.
Roland wants another like.
I'm just trying to be realistic because I see a lot of Spurs fans on Twitter like super upset and just like, what the hell's going on? Like, why aren't we in the playoff race, or why aren't we winning all these games and stuff? And it's like, guys, you have to pump the brakes. Like the rebuild
still
of a franchise,
18, 19. I mean,
yeah, the rebuild of a franchise takes a long time. Like, it just does not happen overnight.
It does, Roland, but that kid was made out to be like a rebuild turbo.
And he probably could still he probably still is the best prospect since LeBron. And then the other thing too, like, don't go and compare, like, because it's easy to go and be like, oh, look at Chet Holmgren, look at but look at the team that the Thunder has versus the Spurs. You're gonna take the Thunder roster all day, every day.
But like at the same time, Roland,
that has FGA setting him up.
At the same time, look at the play that they drew up for Chet, to force OT against.
I know, but to even be there in that spot, they have to have a good team to get there, and the Spurs don't even have that. You can't compare the pieces.
Well,
I think Chet's good.
LeBron took the Cavs pretty far in his rookie and sophomore year, and he had, I mean, the worst bunch of scraps in the damn league. I mean, and yes, it's
how happy this guy was to go to San Antonio.
It's like guard versus big man. I mean, that's different. Wemby doesn't have the ball in his hands as much as LeBron did, but I mean,
to be clear, I think Wemby is good, but just the fact that he was billed as the next LeBron, and he's not going to come anywhere close to that his rookie year. But he is good. I think he's monster Jace, and he will get better once he fills out that body more, and he has been.
I mean, he's already a walking 20 and 10. I mean, I don't know a lot of guys who just woke up and just walked into the NBA and averaged that.
Is he 20 and 10? I thought he was 18.
No, he's already he's at 19.6, so I round up to 20. I mean, it's just a simple little.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I just thought he was at 18, not 19. Even.
Nah. He's
Wemby or Sengun. Wemby or Sengun, man.
I'll take
that's not any slight though at any of those guys. I think if anything, it's like, damn, the big men in the NBA are back, right? Like, you got Sengun in fucking Houston, you got Jokic, the MVP,
Chet.
You got Embiid, you got Chet, you got Wemby. Damn,
Giannis too. He's 6'11".
What's that?
Giannis too. He's 6'11".
Yeah, you got Big Ben.
You know what's crazy about all these big men? They all are in the perimeter.
The Chiefs got
They're
the
not
ball
banging in the post, which is crazy.
What's that?
They're all at the perimeter. They're not like banging in the post. It's the new era of the big man. The big man's back, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Carl Anthony Towns is one that I thought he was going to be better.
Well, Cat's still good though. I mean, like, yeah.
He dropped 30 against the Warriors that game that I.
Lauri Markkanen, another big who's playing.
Got his game back because he was on the downs.
Wemby turning into Giannis build in 2 years. I agree. He's not. I don't know if he'll get as buff as Giannis did, but he's definitely going to put on some weight at that Spurs.
I agree with him putting on weight, and his game's just a little more different though. It's just a little bit more.
Yeah, can you just say sorry for your comparisons to Bol earlier in the year? I think that was a little out of pocket.
I still feel cool with saying that. Like, the dude hasn't taken over a game. And Bol hasn't taken over a game, so I'm cool. Like, until he just kills somebody, then I'll be like, all right, I'm wrong. But the one game against the Suns won't be enough. The 38-point game against the Suns is not enough.
That's not a good sample size, Justin. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Let me see the whole year.
Bol's still sitting on that throne. You're right.
They'll send him up this summer.
They'll send him up this summer at the end of the bench.
They'll send him down I-10 to Houston to work with Hakeem and Sengun, and he'll come back with some footwork for y'all next year.
Damn, first down on 30, 15. And he just won't be a jump shooter.
You know what? Hey, once he starts adding more than the jump shooting, and of course they can lob it up to him and stuff, right? But I mean, he is a little skinny, but some back to the basket type of game. I don't think we've seen any of it from him. And just being that tall, it's got to be easy to get a little hook in there.
I think Watson just cashed your bet with a 15-yard catch, or a 16 or 17-yard.
He already had it.
Oh,
who had Watson?
Well, there we go. Easy cash for Ben there. As we talked about,
I don't know where this kid came.
Those are easy props to catch at times with those low yardage. That was a good find, Ben. Good call there. Can't imagine he had a catch prop higher than a catch and a half, maybe.
He's at 3 catches for 33 yards on 6 targets.
That cashes both his props.
The fuck?
Target monster.
17 seconds left.
Yeah.
Finish off this half.
Yeah, I was about to get out of here, but I can't do that.
Yeah, you can peace out. I mean, we'll stay on just for the half.
I mean, it's 19 seconds, bro. Let's get some points here. Go up 2 possessions into half.
Can we go to Kelsey, though?
I think this is also going to play into the first half over-under. I don't know what the number was, but it's usually around 21.5, 23.5.
Jerick McKinnon.
Just, man, this is going to end badly for me. Just as long as the Chiefs win, I'll be happy.
What do y'all think about Nick Sirianni?
He's a good coach.
Yeah? Can you stand his antics?
Yeah, I don't mind him. I mean, there's worse out there.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had antics. I thought he was a pretty good coach from the beginning. I know a lot of people gave him stuff because of his interview. His introduction interview where he looked like the Energizer Bunny. He was, on Pilas. But he's a pretty good coach, and he knows how to use all the weapons that he has.
Yeah, he's a gamer. Yeah, so the Chiefs are lining up for a field goal here.
I needed this right here, boys. This is 4 points if he makes it.
Yeah, I need Butker to make this 2.
Good 4 points right here.
He made it.
Yeah.
He made it.
All right.
17-7 going in a half.
That's halftime. That's the podcast for us tonight. Thanks to everybody that watched. Please like and share. Scan that code there at the top left. And hopefully we'll do another watch-along, maybe a UFC event. Maybe a college football game or something, but just wanted to try out
like a basketball first quarter would be
or
cool.
Basketball first quarter on one of those TNT primetime games. We'll think of something, but just wanted to try a new format for you guys. So I hope everybody here has a nice evening, has a good week, and hopefully we'll be back with some waiver wire talk tomorrow. So peace out, guys.
Peace.
Right. Peace.
Later, boys.